Welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm Georgia, so happy that you could join us today. Are you looking for an interesting card that's maybe three-dimensional? We have that card for you. We are going to be working with a 3-layered card. Now let me show you what that looks like. Look how pretty this is. You will be able to make this kind of a card with any stamp set that you choose. So let's head down to the crafting table and let's get started. The first thing you need to do is cut your dimensions of your paper that you're going to need. And we are going to be stamping on this white paper, and we need to connect them all together so that we can stamp. So we have already cut our paper, and remember, all of our dimensions will be listed over on creativemomentsbyg.com. We are going to take our paper and it will be stacked this way. So we want to go ahead and pick it up and make sure that it fits on our card exactly the way we have it stacked. And it fits perfectly. So let's go ahead and get this laid down with some removable tape. So we're just going to put a little piece. We're going to line that up on our graph paper. Get it right in the middle. Go ahead and just hold it down. And now we need to put a little bit of removable tape here as well. You're going to line it up. And now we have selected a beautiful stamp set to work with. Pretty pumpkins. And we are going to stamp these pumpkins as well as the leaves and flowers here with this sentiment. So to stamp our pumpkins, we will be using Early Espresso ink. Now, I want you to notice as you stamp across this paper, you will see that it won't stamp every single area because of the depth of how you have it stacked. But not to worry, because we will be separating that with another mat underneath. And I'm going to rock it just a little bit to make sure that I get that pumpkin on the left-hand side. And look at that, just perfect. We are going to go ahead and take out our blends that we're going to use to color this area. I'm going to use bronze just to barely highlight this area where we have our lines in our pumpkins. So let's just go over that just a little bit. And while I'm there, I'm going to go ahead and use the bronze to pick up the stems. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we sure would love for you to take just a moment and subscribe and hit that like button for us. I'm going to bring in light pumpkin pie, but also dark pale papaya. And let me show you what I did. To make sure that I could make my color palette match the DSP that we're going to use on the base card, I went ahead and I just put some markings on some white paper. And that helped me really decide which blends we should use, because originally I had thought we would use the Calypso Coral, but it just is way too dark. So we brought in some other colors, and this is a great tip. Go ahead when you're using DSP and bring in a white piece of paper and just use your blends to get that color palette going so you can see which colors go best with your DSP. Now we're going to go ahead with the dark pale papaya and just kind of go over this area right here. And then we're going to come back in with our light. And notice I'm not being perfect. I'm just kind of going over it because I'm going to bring in my light. And now if you want to bring in some more depth right here, you can just bring in your dark again and just kind of go over the edges, maybe alongside the bottom. And I like to always bring in some Wink of Stella. So let's go ahead and shake this up really well. And this says push on both sides. So we're just going to push very lightly until we see the liquid going down right here. And we're just going to come in and just get a little bit on our pumpkins. And now we want to go ahead and use our blends to color our leaves. So we're going to take our dark Old Olive and just go over the areas that they already have shaded for you with those lines, the veins. And now we're going to come in with our light Old Olive. So we have this colored. Now we know that we want to put our stamp right here. So we're going to get our sentiment and we're going to stamp it in Memento. And hold it for good contact. Look at that. Just beautiful. But we're not through yet, right? We still need to go ahead and put some leaves right here. So we already have that right here. And we will be stamping that in our garden green. Now we're going to bring in our old olive, our light old olive, and just go over these leaves. And for our flower, we're going to bring in dark Mango Melody. Now, the next thing that we want to do is we're going to use our blends to just pick up some color right here. And the first color we're going to put down is Calypso Coral. Now, I want to show you how to work with these blends so that you get a very light blending. You know, most people take their blending tool and they put their index finger right on top and they push it down and they really get some good color. A better way to do that is keep your hand back here and just lightly tap on it, because you don't want much color on there. And you can always go darker, right? But you can't take it off. So let's just see. Okay, we can see that we still don't have very much, so we're just going to tap it very lightly until we get some color. We're going to start off the paper and just very lightly go over the bottom. Now, this is where you really need to bring in your patience, because yes, you can come in there and you can really get some dark color, but you're not going to be able to make it lighter. So just, if you have to put 3-4 coats on there, that's fine. And always start off the paper. Okay, and now I'm going to pick up some crushed curry and bring that down from the top. Once again, start off the paper. Okay, oh my goodness, look at that. Let me hold that up for you. That turned out quite pretty. And just starting your blending off the paper and bringing it in really gives you that light touch that you need. And now we are going to take our mats and go ahead and put the area that we just colored, we're going to put it on top of our mats. So let's go ahead, and we are going to use dimensionals for that. Now we're going to take this one and get it right on top. We're going to go ahead and put this one down on with glue and just line it up. And we have left just 1/8 of an inch. And remember, all these dimensionals will be listed over on our blog, because we think it just looks so pretty with just barely a border around it. And now we're going to put this one up on dimensionals and put it right on top of the mat. And I already laid this DSP down, but I have a tip for you. Remember, when you have directional DSP, you want to make sure that you use the right measurements so that it is laying the right way on your base card. Now on this one, we need to go ahead and we'll lay this one down using the glue. So we'll just adhere it straight to the base card. Now we want to go ahead and lay this down. So I'm just going to put some glue right here on this white spot, just in the corners. And we have this part up on dimensional, so it really gives it that lift that you want. And now we're going to put some glue right here and just line it up. And you still have your height because you raise this up on dimensionals, and look how pretty that looks. Now we need to finish the inside, and stay with us because we have another card to show you. We need to go ahead and we're going to put a sentiment on the inside from the same stamp set, and we are going to stamp that in our memento. Now let's get this laid down on the inside of the card. And there we have our three-dimensional framed card. Isn't it beautiful? I just love the way this stacks up so nicely. I really like the additional mat that we put underneath it. I think that gives you that extra presentation that makes it so special. So we have this one. We have the Cherish Happy Moments that we showed you earlier. And finally, we have this one. Oh my goodness. We used birds and branches for this. Look how beautiful that is. You can barely see them, but we have our three little eggs right here. And then we put another bird on the inside. So we have thank you for your kindness. I think those turned out so pretty. We love the way that we did our shading. Once again, we started with the dark at the bottom, but we started off the matte so that you don't get any big splotches on your paper. We hope that you like these cards that we showed you, the three-dimensional framed cards. We had so much fun making them. We sure would appreciate a thumbs up from you. And please subscribe and hit that bell so that you always are remembered when we do a new video. Well, listen, we want you to go out and have a fantastic day. Be kind to yourself and others. Be creative in your crafting, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.